Hey, what's up guys? I'm Double IB and those are my predictions for week 16 of the NFL. In the first game of this week, on Saturday, we had the Washington Redskins playing against the Tennessee Titans. Technically, those two teams are eliminated from the playoffs. But still, this game could bring a lot of confidence for the next year and trying to build a winning season next year. So those two teams will come in this game with a lot of pride. The Washington Redskins have lost their two quarterbacks, so now they were playing with their third quarterback. So there's not so much of talent at the quarterback position for this team. But for the Tennessee Titans, Marcus Mariota is playing really good, and in the last few weeks, Derrick Henry also played really good at the halfback position. So the Tennessee Titans will have the advantage in this game because their offense is better, and they're playing this game at home. So that's why I'll give them the win by a score of 21-14. For the next game that's still played on Saturday night, we have the Baltimore Ravens playing against the Los Angeles Chargers. Those two teams are right now in the AFC wildcard position for the playoffs run, but the LA Chargers have already confirmed their spot in the playoffs. The Baltimore Ravens have still not made their spot in the playoffs. This week they will play against the Los Angeles Chargers, a really good team who beat the Pittsburgh Steelers at home a few weeks ago, and last week they beat the Kansas City Chiefs at their place. So the Los Angeles Chargers team is really good. So the Baltimore Ravens should be prepared for this game. The Ravens will play with Lamar Jackson at quarterback, a young quarterback that's full of talent, and he will show us in this game that he's a really good quarterback. Playing against the Los Angeles Chargers defense that's playing really good, and that they have a really tough front four to play against. On the other side of the ball for the Los Angeles Chargers, their offense is playing really good. Philip Rivers at quarterback, he is an MVP candidate. He has Mike Williams at wide receiver who played amazing last week. He also has the always reliable Keenan Allen, and he will get back Melvin Gordon in the lineup this week. So the Los Angeles Chargers team is stacked and playing against the Baltimore Ravens team that's really good but not as talented as the Los Angeles Chargers team. So the Chargers will have the advantage in this game, and I feel like they will win it by a score of 24-21. In the next game, we had the Tampa Bay Buccaneers playing against the Dallas Cowboys. The Cowboys played a game without scoring any points last week against the Indianapolis Colts. Their offense was playing really bad, and they have some kicks blocked that will give them some points, but the field goal were blocked, so they have no point on the board. Playing against the Tampa Bay Buccaneers team, that defense is not really good, and his offense is not also as good as we expected. But still, the Tampa Bay Buccaneers team is really good. They almost beat the New Orleans Saints a few weeks ago, so they're a legit team. Even if they don't have a chance to make the playoffs this year, still they are really interesting to see them play. On the other side, the Dallas Cowboys, even if they played a bad game last week, they still have a really good offense and a really good defense. So there's nothing lost right there, and they still have their number one seed in the NFC East. So by winning this game, they will solidify their chances to win this division. So that's why I think they will win this game. They'll play this game at home in front of their fans. So it will be a big game for them to win. So that's why I'll give them the win by a score of 28-17. In the next game, we have the Minnesota Vikings playing against the Detroit Lions. The Vikings is a team that has a really good roster, but doesn't have the record to show it. Right now, they're in the last place in the playoffs race, and this week they'll play against the Detroit Lions team, a team that's already eliminated from the playoffs, and that really didn't play as we expected this year. Their offense and their defense are struggling this year, and playing this week against the Minnesota Vikings will show us that this team is not really ready for the playoffs in the few next seasons. The Minnesota Vikings team is a team that's in a win now mode. They have a really good roster. They have paid Kirk Cousins a lot of money to win a Super Bowl, so they have to play really good, and they have the pressure to play really good. So that's why this week playing against the Detroit Lions team, a team that's not really good, it will be a really important win for them. I think that they will win this game, but it will be a harder task because they're playing this game in Detroit, and the Minnesota Vikings team is not a really good team on the road. So that's why this week will be tough, but still, I will give them the win by a score of 21-14. For the next game, we have the Atlanta Falcons playing against the Carolina Panthers. Those two teams have really disappointed us this year. The Falcons has not started the season really well, and he has continued that way till now. On the other side, the Carolina Panthers team has started the season really well with a 6-2 record, But after that, they came and they lost 6 games in a row. So right now they're stuck with a 6-8 record. Playing this week without Cam Newton because he's injured, it will be a really hard task for the Carolina Panthers to play this game. They will heavily run with Christian McCaffrey, and they will choose some few passes in this game because their backup quarterback is not the greatest. So that's why Christian McCaffrey will have a really good game this week against the Atlanta Falcons defense. On the other side, the Falcons offense is healthy right now. Matt Ryan will be playing, and their wide receiver will all playing in this game. And their defense has some injury throughout the seasons, and that's why they had lost the chance to make the playoffs this year. Those two teams are banged right now, so this game will not be so fun to watch. But still, the Panthers will play this game at home, and I hope that they will win this game by that cutting their 6-game losing streak. So that's why I'll give the win to the Panthers by a score of 21-17. For the next game, we had the Houston Texans playing against the Philadelphia Eagles. The Houston Texans is a team that's playing really good right now. They're on fire, even if they lost a game against the Indianapolis Colts a few weeks ago. But last week playing against the New York Jets showed us that they're a really good team. Even if they were playing against the Jets, a team that has no chance to make the playoffs this year, they still show us that they're a really good team. And DeAndre Hopkins was amazing in that game. Playing this week against the Philadelphia Eagles, a team that surprised us by winning against the Los Angeles Rams last week in Los Angeles, the Philadelphia Eagles still have a chance to make the playoffs this year with Nick Foles at quarterback. Nick Foles is the quarterback for the Philadelphia Eagles in the clutch moment, in the moment that the team needs him the most. So I feel like the Philadelphia Eagles will still continue to ride on that vibe of underdogs, but playing this week against the Houston Texans, I think that's really good, and I cannot see them losing that game because their offense is playing really good with DeAndre Hopkins at wide receiver, playing against the secondary of the Philadelphia Eagles that's banged up right now. I feel like the Houston Texans will have the advantage in this game, and I'll give them the win by a score of 20-17. For the next game, we had the New York Giants playing against the Indianapolis Colts. The Giants team had some good games in the middle of the season, but right now they're struggling heavily. Losing Odell Beckham Jr. at wide receiver showed us that this guy is really important for the team, even if Saquon Barkley is right there at quarterback. With the two offensive key pieces in Barkley and Beckham, they could not live one without each other, because if Beckham is injured, Barkley will have all the team defense focusing on him. So that's why last week the Junior Giants didn't play really good, and Saquon Barkley hadn't had a really good game. Playing this week against the Indianapolis Colts, another really good defense with their defensive leader in Darius Leonard, a rookie linebacker. I feel like the Indianapolis Colts team is one to watch this year. Maybe they'll have a chance to make the playoffs this year, but it's really it will be really hard because the AFC is completely stuck in the wild card teams. We have the LA Chargers, who already confirmed their first place in the wild card spot, and the second place is the only one that's remaining. And right now we have the Baltimore Ravens, and they're playing really good right now. So the Colts will have to win the rest of the games to have a chance to make the playoff this year. And I think they're on a good way by playing this week against the New York Giants. The Giants is not a really good team, and I still don't know if Beckham will be playing. I think he will not play for the rest of the season. It's better for the team, that way he will recover from his injury and be back stronger next year. And that's why I'll give the win to the Indianapolis Colts, because they're not a team that is with a lot of injuries, and they still have a chance to make the playoffs. So, and their only way to make the playoffs is by winning everything that's left on the schedule. So that's why I'll give them the win by a score of 21-10. In the next game, we had the Cincinnati Bengals playing against the Cleveland Browns. The Cincinnati Bengals is a team that's banged up right now, and their only good player on this team right now is Joe Mixon. And last week he played an amazing game. On the other side, for the Cleveland Browns, their team is really good, and next year they have a legit shot to make the playoffs. Their coaching staff is much better right now, and the players are seeming to have fun while playing the game of football. Baker Mayfield is a really good quarterback, and their defense is also really good. Myles Garrett is an amazing pass rusher, and this team is a really good team. Playing this week against against the Cincinnati Bengals, a team that's banged up, I feel like the Cleveland Browns clearly will have the advantage in this game. They'll play this game at home in front of their fans, and that's why I'll give them the win by a score of 21-17. In the next game, we had the Buffalo Bills playing against the New England Patriots. The Patriots have lost 2 games in a row this December. First of all, they lost against the Miami Dolphins in the Miami Miracle, and last week they lost a close one against the Pittsburgh Steelers, and they played awful in that game. Playing this week against the Buffalo Bills, they're AFC West rivals and a team that has not given them a lot of hard time in the past few years. I feel like the Patriots could use this game as a game to bring back confidence for the rest of the season and for the playoffs that's coming by. The Patriots will play without Josh Gordon because he's out of the league with a suspension by the governor. But I feel like the New England Patriots don't need him as much as we think so, because their offense is based on Tom Brady and his running back with Sonny Michel, James White. So that's why I feel like the Patriots will have clearly the advantage in this game in playing against a rookie quarterback in Josh Allen, who is a really good quarterback, but he's running the ball a little bit too much in my taste as a rookie. I really would like him to throw the ball more, and that way he could experience what it's like to throw an NFL ball, or just to experience some defensive play. So that's why I'll hope that he will throw some more balls in the few games instead of running the ball a lot. So that's why I'll give the win to the Patriots by a score of 28-10. In the next game, we have the Green Bay Packers playing against the New York Jets. Those two teams have not showed us a lot of good things this year. Aaron Rodgers and Devontae Adams are the only bright spot on that team for the Green Bay Packers. And the other side, for the New York Jets, there's not a lot of good players except for Jamal Adams at safety that's playing really good this year. This game does not mean a lot for the rest of the season, but it's a really good game for Sam Darnold and his offense to grow up and play really good. I feel like the New York Jets could have the advantage in this game because this game for them means much more for the Green Bay Packers. So I feel like the New York Jets will have the advantage in this game because they're playing at home and in front of their fans. So that's why I think the Jets will have the advantage in this game, and by having a lot of more confidence in this game and a lot of more willing to win this game. So that's why the Jets will win this game by a score of 17-16. In the next game, we had the Jacksonville Jaguars playing against the Miami Dolphins. The Jaguars are not a really good team, and their offense is really awful without a quarterback. They have some really good pieces in this team, but a quarterback has shown that is the most important role in the NFL, because without a quarterback, you can't do anything in this league, and the Jacksonville Jaguars are showing us this year. On the other side, the Miami Dolphins have Ryan Tannehill at quarterback, who is playing really good this year. He's playing better than people expected, but still, I feel like the Miami Dolphins still don't have a chance to make the playoffs this year, and the Dolphins could think about bringing another quarterback in the team to have a better chance to make the playoffs in the years to come. Still, I feel like Ryan Tannehill could show us that he's a really good quarterback. He wanted to do this for the Miami Dolphins fan and for himself and for the staff of the Dolphins, to show them that he's the quarterback of the future for this team, even if he is 30 and that he's starting to winding down because his prime is right now. But still, Ryan Tannehill could show us that he's a really good quarterback by playing against the Jaguars, and their defense that is playing really good in some games. In the other games, they're not showing us that they're a really good team. But I feel like the Jacksonville Jaguars defense is a really good one, in that it could show us this week that they're really good, and Ryan Tannehill could have a really tough challenge this week. So that's why I'll give them a win to the Miami Dolphins in a close game by a score of 12-10. For the next game, we have the Chicago Bears playing against the San Francisco 49ers. The 49ers are playing really good in the past few weeks. Like last year, they had a really awful season till the end where they're starting to play really good. And this year they're doing the same, and they did that by winning against the Seattle Seahawks last week in overtime. This game they will play against the Chicago Bears, a team that's really good right now, and with Mitchell Trubisky at quarterback and Matt Nagy as his head coach, They're showing us a lot of good things, and they just clinched the NFC North this last week. This week they'll play against the San Francisco 49ers at their place, so the Bears will have a much bigger challenge in front of them. The San Francisco 49ers is a team that's playing really good at the end of the season, and this year is no different. The Chicago Bears team is a really good team, and they could really have a chance to have a first round by winning this game. So I feel like they'll bring their A game in this game and being the shit out of the San Francisco 49ers. So that's why I'll give them the win by a score of 24-10. In the next game, we had the Los Angeles Rams playing against the Arizona Cardinals. The Rams is a team that has played really good this year, but in the last few weeks they had some ups and some downs. Playing this week against the Arizona Cardinals could really bring back confidence to that team. Last week they lost in a fairly close game against the Philadelphia Eagles, and they really surprised us by losing that game to Nick Foles, a backup quarterback. Still, this week they'll play against the Arizona Cardinals, a team that has no shot to make the playoffs this year, and they're more battle to win the first pick overall this year. So the Los Angeles Chargers could really beat the crap out of the Arizona Cardinals and bring back confidence to that team, and I feel like that's what they will do. The Rams team is really good, and this week they'll want to prove us that they're a legit team and that they could be a force to reckon with. So that's why I'll give them the win by a score of 28-9. In the next game, we had the Pittsburgh Steelers playing against the New Orleans Saints. Last week, those two teams won some important games. For the Steelers, last week they beat the Patriots by finally beating their rivals in the Patriots, and they did that in a big way by having a really good game on offense and on defense. On the other side, the New Orleans Saints beat their divisional rivals in the Carolina Panthers in a close game by a score of 12-9. This game was really close, and the offense of the New Orleans Saints didn't show up in that game. But still, their defense showed up and got the win for this team. The Saints' offense has not played really good in the past few weeks, but still, they have some really good pieces. They have Drew Brees at quarterback, one of the greatest in the NFL. After that, they have Mark Ingram and Alvin Kamara at the wide receiver position. And after that, they have Michael Thomas, one of the greatest receivers in the league right now. So their offense is not to blame about. They have some really good offense. They just need to be clicking right around the playoffs. And I feel like this game could be a really important game for them because they'll play against one of the favorites to win their division in the AFC North in the Pittsburgh Steelers, a team that just beat the New England Patriots last week in a big way. For the Pittsburgh Steelers, they'll come in this game really hot by being the New England Patriots, so they'll feel like they could beat any team. But still, last week they beat the Patriots at home, and the Patriots have some struggle in the past few weeks, so I feel like this game was not as important as it could be if the Patriots were at 100% ready for that game. But still, I don't take any credits from the Pittsburgh Steelers. They played an amazing game, and I'm still happy for them that they finally beat the rivals. But this week they'll play against the New Orleans Saints, one of the hottest teams in the league right now. They're playing an amazing football, and their offense and their defense is playing amazing. So that's why this week playing against the Pittsburgh Steelers, the Saints will have a clearly advantage. They will play this game at home in the Superdome. So that's why I'll give the win to the New Orleans Saints by a score of 28-27. And after that, on Sunday night, we had the Kansas City Chiefs playing against the Seattle Seahawks. Those two teams are in the race to make the playoffs. The Kansas City Chiefs have already confirmed their spot in the playoffs, but they still have not confirmed their first seed in their division. Playing this week against the Seattle Seahawks will be a key game for them to confirm that because the Los Angeles Chargers will play this week at home. Playing on the road against the Seattle Seahawks, one of the toughest arena to play in, the Kansas City Chiefs will have a really hard task. Russell Wilson and his team has played really good lately, even if they lost last week to the San Francisco 49ers. I feel like the Seattle Seahawks is a really good team. Still, the Kansas City Chiefs team is really good, but last week they lost against the Los Angeles Chargers. Loss of Kareem Hunt really hurts that team. Even if the two Williams halfback have played really good last week, it's not as good as it would have been if Kareem Hunt was on the field. So this game will be a really hard test for me to choose because those two teams have some really good offense and some really good defenses. But still, it's a really hard task, and I feel like the win will go to the Kansas City Chiefs because they have a really important game to play. Because if they win this game, they have a much better chance to win their division. If they lost, because those because they're in the race with the Los Angeles Chargers to see who will be in the team who have a first round bye and who will be the team who will play in the wild card this year. So that's why I'll give the win to the Chiefs by a score of 21-17. In the final game of this week on Monday night, we had the Denver Broncos playing against the Oakland Raiders. Denver Broncos is a team that's playing okay this year. They could have played better, but with Case Keenum at quarterback, a not so good quarterback, a mid-tier quarterback, is the season that they should have. On the other side, the Oakland Raiders have traded two of their best players in Amari Cooper and Khalil Mack, who are now playing as a beast in their respective team. So that's why the Oakland Raiders have a really hard task to and have some really hard decisions to make in the offseason. They have some really good players and some really bad players that they have to get rid of, and they'll have to rebuild that team completely. And they have just their quarterback as a good player on that team. So that's why the Denver Broncos have the advantage in this game. Even if this game is played in Oakland, the Denver clearly has the advantage in this game. So that's why I'll give them the win. So that's why I'll give them the win by a score of 20-10. Okay guys, thank you for watching my video. Those were my predictions for the week 16 of the NFL. I hope you guys enjoy it. I'm Double IB. I'm out.